I still remember that morning clearly. Fog covered the entire valley, and the ground beneath our feet was still damp. We were standing on a small rise, looking at the patches of soil that had been torn up near the forest edge. The hunting dogs started barking wildly, pulling hard against their leashes in sheer excitement. Just a few seconds later, from the thick brush below, a massive herd of wild boars burst out and charged straight toward us. Their speed was so sudden that our entire team barely had time to react. I raised my rifle, my hands trembling slightly as the adrenaline kicked in, holding my breath as I waited for the right moment. When a massive boar suddenly veered left, lowering its head to bolt for an escape route, I pulled the trigger. A sharp crack echoed out, and the animal dropped instantly. But the rest of the herd kept rushing forward like a raging wave. In that moment, I realized I had just stepped into a hunt that would be anything but easy. Wild boar in this region multiply at an astonishing rate. In just a few years, their numbers have surged, spilling into farmland, tearing up crops, and even threatening livestock. Families living on ranches along the forest edge can barely sleep at night because of the constant sounds of boars slamming into fences or ripping up pastures. That's why we're here, not for the thrill of the hunt, but to protect what little piece is left in a place that has sustained generations. Right after the first shot, our team quickly spread out, moving in a wide arc around the low hill. Large, round hoofprints pressed deep into the mud led us to a narrow trail where dry leaves had been scattered. I crouched down, placing my hand on a fresh scrape. The soil was still warm. The herd had passed through just moments ago. We released the dogs and let them take the lead. It didn't take long before urgent barking echoed from the hillside, signaling that they had found the target. When I reached the spot, a massive boar stood blocking the thicket, its eyes burning with anger. It stepped back a few paces, then suddenly charged like an arrow. I could feel the ground trembling under my feet as it picked up speed. In that split second, I raised my rifle, pressed the stock tight against my shoulder, and fired. The bullet hit it square in the chest. The animal staggered, took a few unsteady steps, then collapsed. I stayed frozen for a few seconds to make sure it wasn't moving, my breath coming out heavy and tight from the adrenaline. If you were in the same situation, how would you handle a charging boar? Would you stay calm and take the shot, or try to dodge out of the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. As we moved deeper in, the scene grew even more startling. Tree trunks were covered in bite marks, patches of soil had been torn wide open, clear signs that this was a gathering spot for large herds of wild boar. We climbed onto a small rise to get a better view. From there, beneath the thin canopy, I spotted several dark shapes weaving through the brush in search of food. Our team split up, moving quietly and keeping a safe distance. I chose a spot behind a large tree where I had a clear view of a boar engrossed in foraging. As it moved closer, I steadied my rifle and pulled the trigger. The animal dropped instantly, its heavy body hitting the ground with a thud. A moment later, a new signal came through our team's radio. On the eastern edge of the forest, they had spotted another entire herd gathering around an open clearing. On the way back, we heard the dogs barking fiercely behind a line of trees. Instinct told us something was happening. We moved toward the sound immediately. A large wild boar had been pushed into a dead end, but there was no fear in its eyes, only defiance. It tried to find a way out, but the dogs had it completely surrounded. I stepped forward, raised my rifle, and ended it with a quick shot, not giving the animal any chance to fight back. As the sun slipped behind the mountains, we regrouped on an open patch of ground to tally the results of the day's hunt. For me, the true value of trips like this isn't in how many wild boars we take down, but in knowing we're helping maintain some balance in this land. Even though the struggle with these growing herds will continue tomorrow, at least today we did everything we could to protect this place. Today's hunt comes to an end here. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next thrilling adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the upcoming videos. Along the desolate floodplains of the Sepik River, cut off from the modern world, a deadly threat lurks, crocodiles stalking every small village. They strike under the cover of night, tearing through pig pens, snatching chickens and ducks, even ambushing farmers waiting by the shallows. Just one attack can wipe out a family's entire food supply. Canoes are overturned, children no longer dare to swim, and once rich taro fields now lie abandoned as irrigation ditches turn into deadly traps. Villagers build bamboo fences, set traps, and light fires through the night, yet nothing stops these cunning predators. Faced with such relentless danger, hunting seems like the only option left. Stay with us to see how the locals fight back against these ferocious beasts. Hidden beneath the murky waters of the Sepik River, massive crocodiles lie in silent wait. Their rough, scaly backs drift on the surface like rotting logs. Masters of camouflage, they can stay motionless for hours, ready to launch a sudden strike. Many grow over 15 feet long, weighing nearly half a ton, with jaws strong enough to crush bone in an instant. For the people living along the riverbanks, these predators are a constant threat. Facing them takes courage and hard-earned skill, because a single mistake could be the end. To take on such a beast, hunters need rifles that are both powerful and precise. A crocodile's back is armored with rock-hard scales that can deflect weaker bullets with ease. Using a small caliber gun isn't just useless, it can enrage the animal and trigger a deadly charge. That's why heavy rounds like the .375 H&H Magnum, .416 Rigby, or .458 Winchester Magnum are considered the top choices. They deliver immense stopping power, strong enough to punch through the croc's thick hide and strike its vital organs. However, the real key isn't the size of the rifle. It's whether the bullet hits the vital spot. Against a giant crocodile, a missed shot can spell disaster. The brain and spine are the critical targets, but they're tiny and well protected, demanding steady aim under extreme pressure. Only a perfectly placed bullet, just behind the eye or at the base of the skull, can bring the beast down instantly, before it slips back into the depths. Timing is just as crucial in the hunt. Dawn and dusk are when crocodiles reveal themselves most often, sometimes crawling ashore to bask, other times drifting quietly on the surface as the sun sets. A hunter must learn that rhythm, patiently watching every move and habit tied to the hours of the day. Only by understanding these patterns can they choose the safest and most effective way to strike. Closing in on a crocodile is a true test of patience and restraint. On the stifling, overgrown Sepik River, every step and every breath has to be measured with care. These predators can sense even the slightest movement in the water. Just a small splash or a clumsy stroke of the paddle is enough to send them slipping into the murky depths, leaving nothing behind but the hunter's frustration. Hunting crocodiles is unlike chasing any other animal. They're not only deadly in the water, but also terrifyingly fast on land. From what looks like a calm riverbank, a croc can suddenly lunge forward, covering an unbelievable distance with bone-crushing force. That's why hunters must always keep a safe distance and never underestimate the lightning speed of these predators. On a crocodile hunt, having a backup shooter is absolutely essential, since the first shot doesn't always bring the beast down. A boat gives hunters mobility and some protection, but even there, one violent tail strike or sudden lunge can flip it in an instant. That's why every member of the team must stay on high alert, because a single moment of carelessness could cost them their lives. Few realize that behind the hunts on the Sepik River lies a deep cultural tradition spanning centuries. For the local tribes, crocodiles are more than just dangerous predators. They symbolize power, strength, and spiritual connection. Their presence is etched into wooden carvings, marked in ceremonial scars on the skin, and preserved through countless ancestral rituals. The hunt on the Sepik River reveals not only the raw brutality of nature, but also the deep cultural ties between people and crocodiles. It's a perilous journey, where every moment is charged with tension. What about you? If you came face to face with such a fearsome predator, would you stand your ground or back away? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel so you won't miss the next thrilling story.
In the mountains of Asturias, Spain, locals are struggling against the threat of ferocious wild boar herds. Fertile fields can turn barren overnight, scarred by their storm-like destruction. These massive beasts are described as both swift and savage, enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Our hunting team quickly mobilized, spreading out into the dense forests, determined to track them down to the very lairs where they hide. No matter how cunning wild boars may be, they can't escape the traps of their own habits. Trails deep in the forest are stamped with countless hoofprints, clear signs that lead us straight to them. I moved carefully, avoiding any sound that might give me away. Then suddenly, from the thick brush ahead, a massive boar burst out, fast as an arrow. Without hesitation, I pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed through the forest, the beast staggered, stumbled, and collapsed. One decisive moment was enough to seal the fate of this fierce creature. The sky suddenly darkened, and a chill crept through the treetops, making the forest feel heavier than ever. I moved into a tangle of fallen logs, pressing myself behind a massive trunk, silent and watchful. Then, without warning, a huge wild boar emerged into view. The instant it stepped forward, I squeezed the trigger. The shot rang out, and the beast collapsed on the spot. That kind of precision only comes from a hunter seasoned by years of experience. I moved quietly deeper into the forest, each step cautious, aware of the danger lurking around me. At the edge of the woods, a massive boar suddenly appeared, its fierce eyes locked straight on me. I quickly raised my rifle, kept my breathing steady, and pulled the trigger with a firm squeeze. The gunshot echoed, and the beast dropped instantly. Had I hesitated even for a moment, the outcome could have been disastrous. Yet in those perilous seconds, I knew my duty was clear: to stop the threat before it could wreak more havoc on the villagers' crops and land.
Out here, in the raw wild, it's man very thrift. It's about mastery, says nature. And today, the wild boar.
That afternoon, I moved along the forest edge and settled into a shaded spot to watch. Through the thick foliage, the dark silhouette of a massive boar slowly came into view, wandering carelessly, unaware of the danger nearby. I steadied my hands, aimed carefully, and pulled the trigger. The first shot made it stumble before it could react. Quickly, I reloaded and fired again. The second shot brought it down clean. Late in the afternoon, I left the forest and moved to the roadside, taking my assigned position. Suddenly, a herd of wild boars burst out, their pounding hooves roaring like thunder. I stayed calm, aimed carefully, and squeezed the trigger. The shots rang out, the lead boar was hit and dropped instantly. The rest of the herd panicked and scattered back into the dense woods. As the last light of sunset faded, I spotted the final herd of boars hiding near the forest's edge. Without hesitation, I pulled the trigger, and the burst of gunfire sent the entire pack fleeing into the darkness. That marked the end of a long, grueling day where patience and determination were pushed to the limit. For the peace of this land, we're willing to stay awake through the night, give our all, and even face danger, just so the villagers can rest easy and their crops remain safe. The journey of facing the giant wild boars has come to an end, but the tension and danger still echo in our minds. What about you? What was the most unforgettable moment of this hunt? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to join us in the next adventure.
In the grasslands of South Africa, lions, once symbols of strength and freedom, have now become a growing concern for the people living there. With only about 2,000 to 3,000 remaining, these predators still cause hundreds of millions of dollars in damage each year. Attacks on livestock, sleepless nights for families near the forests, all of it has thrown daily life into chaos. So the question is, how are the locals protecting themselves from this deadly threat? And are their methods truly creating a lasting balance between people and nature? Let's find out in today's video. In August 2024, South Africans faced a wave of lion attacks, dozens of incidents, many ending in tragedy. One woman recalled the terrifying moment when, during a quiet walk in the park, a lion suddenly charged at her, dragging her away as screams echoed through the air. Luckily, she was rescued just in time. Stories like hers spread fear across rural areas and wildlife reserves. In response, the government had no choice but to act, enforcing strict measures to protect citizens while keeping the unpredictable lion population under control. In South Africa's hunting circles, the name Derek is often spoken with admiration, a symbol of courage and precision. Known for taking on the fiercest lions, he's built his reputation on skill, experience, and the right equipment. Derek favors powerful rifles like the .375 H&H Magnum, .416 Rigby, and .458 Winchester Magnum, capable of piercing the thick muscles of a charging predator. Paired with premium scopes such as the Leupold VX 3i 1.5, 5x20mm or Trijicon AccuPoint 1, .4x24mm, he can track and strike with deadly accuracy, even when his target flickers in and out of view beneath the fading light. For Derek, safety always comes first on every hunt. He rarely goes alone, usually heading out with a team of 4 or 5, including professional hunters, clients, and most importantly, trackers with sharp eyes and razor-sharp instincts. They follow footprints, study the wind, and read a lion's behavior to guide the group's movements, careful not to leave any trace that might alert the predator. Every step is deliberate and calculated. As for the clients, whether seasoned hunters or thrill seekers, their participation helps sustain the local economy and supports ongoing conservation efforts. On every trip, Derek and his hunting clients must carry special permits, not only to stay within the law but also to uphold ethical hunting standards. The cost of these licenses varies by region, ranging from a few thousand to over $20,000. When the first shot rings out, Derek never rushes. He carefully watches the lion's reaction to see if the hit was enough to bring it down. If the animal is still moving, the entire team immediately shifts into high alert. They follow faint trails of blood through the grass, moving slowly and in complete silence. Every experienced hunter knows one truth: a wounded lion is the most dangerous predator of all, ready to strike back at any moment. When managed properly, lion hunting can bring significant economic and ecological benefits. The fees paid by international hunters for licenses and services not only support local communities, but also help fund wildlife conservation programs. Controlled hunting helps maintain a balanced lion population, a top predator essential for regulating herbivore numbers and keeping the ecosystem healthy. Despite its benefits, lion hunting remains highly controversial, especially when it comes to trophy hunting, where pride and profit often take precedence. Many see it as cruel and damaging to conservation efforts. Poor management, overhunting, or targeting only the strongest males can weaken the population, reduce genetic diversity, and increase disease risk. Beyond that, the economic gains from tourism and hunting fees must be shared fairly. When local communities are left out, conflict and poaching inevitably follow. The battle between humans and lions in South Africa isn't just a story of survival. It's a search for balance between human life and nature. Every bullet fired carries a weight of responsibility, not only toward wildlife but also toward the future of this land. What do you think is the best way for humans and lions to coexist? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next thrilling hunt.
Peace in Zimbabwe seems to have been disturbed by small but persistent noises. Troops of Chakma baboons are becoming bolder. From the farms in the southern Mazuba region to the suburbs of Bungo, they not only tear up crops and attack people, but also break into houses, causing significant losses. Locals estimate damage at up to 450,000 Su in 2025. A radio station in Mambairo lost 15,000 Su after baboons chewed through cables, and farms around Hani reported thousands of dollars in losses after pens were ransacked and poultry stolen. Conflict between people and baboons is growing more tense, especially during droughts when water and food are scarce. Many farmers are being pushed to the brink, while local hunters, driven by the need to earn a living, are forced to act to protect livelihoods. So how do you approach these intelligent animals? Experienced hunters typically study troop movement, tracking the routes baboons commonly take, along the Save River or through garden plots near Betu. Identifying natural resting points where they stop to feed increases the chance of a safe approach. Thick brush around Nima or large boulders in the Mava pools are examples of ideal hideouts. They both block sight and give observers a place to wait. choice of weapon and ammunition is not a trivial matter. In Zimbabwe, many prefer calibers such as the .23 Remington, .43 Winchester, or the 6.5mm Creedmoor for their accuracy and power, enough to resolve the situation without excessive recoil. Semi-automatic rifles are useful when quick follow-up shots are needed, for example when baboons bolt suddenly. By contrast, bolt-action rifles work better in open areas such as near Lake Curry, where shots may be taken from long distances. Scopes must be carefully zeroed, and hunters should practice trigger control so each shot counts. Shooting position often determines the success of a hunt. Hunters look for a solid rest like a bipod or a flat rock in the cheru area to stabilize the rifle. When a baboon appears, the window for a shot often lasts only a few seconds. Firing from the flank or from behind usually optimizes effectiveness. After taking a shot, it is essential to hold position and observe. Troops may return or stay at a distance, creating an opportunity for a second shot. But don't let emotion override reason. The hunt isn't over even if the target is hit. A wounded baboon can be extremely dangerous. A single moment of inattention is enough for the hunter to become the victim. Therefore, watching the animal's reaction, confirming its condition and checking for bullet impacts are meant not just to assess the shot but, more importantly, to ensure the hunter's safety in future outings. But don't let emotion override reason. The hunt isn't over even if the target is hit. A wounded baboon can be extremely dangerous. A single moment of inattention is enough for the hunter to become the victim. Therefore, watching the animal's reaction, confirming its condition and checking for bullet impacts are meant not just to assess the shot but, more importantly, to ensure the hunter's safety in future outings.
On the remote islands of Indonesia exists a colossal reptile, the Komodo dragon, the ultimate apex predator of the natural world. Reaching over 3 meters in length and weighing up to 90 kilograms, they are not just lizards but terrifying hunting machines. Their lightning-fast strikes, saw-like teeth, and saliva teeming with bacteria make any bite potentially life-threatening. This is why the Indonesian government intervenes, issuing tightly controlled hunting permits. To join this extraordinary hunt, hunters must obtain permission from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry of Indonesia. Each year, only about 60 to 120 permits are granted, depending on population and ecological conditions. No one is allowed to hunt alone. The law requires groups of 4 to 5 members, both for support and safety. After each expedition, full details such as time, location, and size of the animal must be reported within 24 hours, either to the local office or via the online system. The dry season, from April to October, is considered the most favorable time. When food is scarce, Komodo dragons are more easily lured to bait. Islands such as Flores, Rinca, and Komodo are hotspots, but hunting here is strictly regulated. Participants must follow designated routes to avoid disturbing the natural habitat. The secret to success lies in the bait. The Komodo dragon's sense of smell is extremely sharp, capable of detecting fresh meat from several kilometers away. Hunters usually use goat, cattle, or pork to attract them. When the scent spreads in the hot, dry air, massive silhouettes begin to emerge. At that moment, the team must keep their distance, observe carefully, and wait for the perfect chance to strike. The dragon's weak points are the head and lungs. Easier said than done, however. Once provoked, they charge with incredible speed, and even a tail swipe can send a person flying several meters. That's why roles are clearly divided. One main shooter, 2 observers, and the rest on standby for emergencies. After each capture, the dragon is measured, its age, sex, and condition recorded, then all data sent to the ministry. Thanks to this system, Komodo attacks on humans have dropped by more than 30% in recent years, while livestock losses have fallen by 75%. Farmers now feel safer, local economies recover, and the dragon population remains stable. In truth, hunting Komodo dragons is not just a dangerous confrontation but a testament to discipline and teamwork. It is not entertainment, but a management effort to balance human safety with conservation. Hunters must be experienced, patient, calm, and above all, respectful of this unique creature. The Komodo dragon, both a source of pride and a threat to Indonesia, is kept in balance through these controlled hunts. Each shot carries not only thrill but also responsibility toward the community and the rare natural heritage of our planet. If you found this journey fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to follow more thrilling adventures.
Recently in Texas, farmers and local officials have reported a string of incidents where wild boars have charged into residential areas, damaged crops, and attacked livestock. These animals used to stay deep in the thickets, away from people, but now they seem to have lost their fear. Large herds of wild boars are moving toward farms, leaving residents alarmed and frightened. And that's why we were called in, a team of professional hunters, mobilized for an emergency hunt in the heart of Texas. We prepared thoroughly before departure, checking rifles, ammunition, communications gear, and our GPS units. The sky was overcast then, the atmosphere heavy as if warning of a turbulent night ahead. Everyone knew that a single small mistake could have unpredictable consequences, because these wild boars are not only huge but extremely aggressive. We identified a mountain forest surrounding the fields as a likely refuge for the herd. terrain was rugged, visibility limited, so locating the targets would not be easy. This time we brought a pack of well-trained
Nos vamos hasta
hunting
el
dogs.
puesto número 2 de la...
Their noses work fast, and only a few minutes after release, barking echoed through the woods. Immediately, the team spread out, taking ambush positions according to plan. The first shot rang out, the hunt officially began. The smell of gunpowder mixed with the scent of dry earth. The cries of the boars echoed through the forest. A boar weighing nearly 100 kilos was struck and fell, and the rest of the herd began to scatter. From behind a bush, another surged across in front of me with incredible speed. In that moment, time seemed to stop. I raised my weapon, took aim, and squeezed the trigger. A shot sounded, and the animal collapsed just a few meters from me. The forest was now chaos like a battlefield. Dogs barking, gunshots, and the boar's cries blended together. We continued the chase, not giving any animal a chance to escape. The fleeing boars left tracks, and the dogs kept on their trail. I held my breath, lined up the shot, then pulled the trigger. The round hit its mark. Another animal went down. There was no time to rest. We kept clearing the area. Whenever we heard an alert bark, the team moved in immediately. A giant boar was cornered and about to strike back, but my teammate was quicker. A shot rang out and it fell on the spot. Everything went according to plan, swift, precise, and decisive. The woods now resembled a scattered nest of wild boars, spreading everywhere, from large herds to lone runners. But however fast they ran, our hunting dogs relentlessly followed every trace. Targets dashed in panic, but there was no escape. I held my breath, didn't hesitate, and squeezed the trigger. The shot hit its mark. Just when we thought it was over, on the way back a black, shaggy boar suddenly darted across the road in front of the vehicle as if challenging us. Without hesitation, we raised our rifles and took a quick aim. Tried to flee, but I was faster. A shot rang out and the animal went down, huge like a dinosaur. On the other side of the hill, my teammates were also facing another herd. They identified targets, brought their scopes to bear and fired, making a boar stagger. Before the hunt ended, they managed to bring down a few more boars. The thrill of every hunt is real, but behind that thrill lies a real danger. These wild animals now not only destroy crops, but also threaten people's lives by moving into towns. The video ends here. How do you feel about today's hunt in Texas? Leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to see more dramatic hunting journeys. Goodbye and see you next time.